Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. The title of today's show is The Last Time That This Signal Flashed, Bitcoin Jumped almost 100%. And actually the time before the signal flash, it jumped around 200%. And no, it's not the golden cross, which hasn't quite triggered yet. And we're going to talk about that in a moment and a whole bunch more. But before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people and does, of course, help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments. You take the time to write them. Thank you so much. And I take the time to read them and to respond. So let's quickly jump over to the charts here. The Bitcoin chart, I want to show that we did have the bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame does look to have played out. We identified that bearish divergence. There we had a higher high, and then we had a higher high in price, but we had a lower, and now we've come down and we've spiked back up. So I would say that bearish divergence has played out. However, does that mean that that's the end of this drop to the downside? Not necessarily, okay? And let me show you a couple of things. First of all, we do have the daily stochastic RSI having rolled over on the daily time frame. Now, of course, this could curl back up and go back up or continue to the downside. Now, that doesn't mean that price necessarily is going to go any lower than this $1,000 level that it got to here. It got down to 100,700. However, it could just mean, because the last time the daily stochastic RSI rolled over, Bitcoin only dropped around 3,000. And so we've seen it drop around about $5,000. So that's a decent correction, 5%. And so what we could see now is we could see a couple of things. One, Bitcoin could range in this 100 to 105,000. Remember that 100 to 110,000 area that we stayed in for quite some time between around November and January for about 2 months for the most part. We could stay back in the bottom of that range, but we also could come down to 98,000 and range between 98 and 105,000. This is a very key area of resistance, as you can see. And this was the breakout of this bull flag here. And I gave the technical target. Now we do have another bull flag here that could play out. Now, what kind of price target could we see there if this does play out? Let's have a quick look. It would bring it up to about 113,000. Now, there is a Fibonacci level there as well. So that's my technical target to if this bull flag does play out. It's currently forming. Then this 100K, that's the bottom of the flag, and 105 is the top of the flag. That doesn't mean that we can't have a wick down to 98K, a sudden drop down to 98K there. That could possibly happen, but I wouldn't want to see this level lost. I think if that gets lost, then we're in for a deeper correction there. We could see that roll over, and then what we could also see happen is we could see on the weekly time frame, this stochastic RSI would likely roll over as well, and that would be a sell signal there for Bitcoin, and could lead to some further downside. So we'll see how that plays out. Of course, the weekly before it rolls over could stay up there for a little while. This last time it bopped up into there, and we just breached the 80% line. That was late October, and it stayed there and didn't really break down to December. So it could lead to a couple more months of upside before that breaks down. Well, obviously, it's not going to go straight up with corrections along the way. All right, so let's talk about the golden cross. That is very close to happening there. You can see now the darker blue 50-day moving average there is getting close to the 200-day moving average. The last time that crossed, Bitcoin did almost 100%. That is almost guaranteed to cross fairly soon in the coming weeks. We'll keep an eye on that. And then let's talk about the indicator that fired off that has led to huge gains in Bitcoin as well. It's the MACD. The blue line has recently crossed the red line on the weekly time frame, okay? And the last time that happened, you can see, is back here in October. There it is there, of October of 2024, and Bitcoin shot up from around 60,000 all the way up to 108,000, doing almost 100%. And then the time before that was October of 2023. October of 2023. There it is right there in October of 2023, and Bitcoin went up from about $30,000 all the way up to $74,000 there, that it went up to $73,000. Okay, so the last two times that has happened, that has led to incredible gains. Okay, so that's triggered, that's extremely bullish on the MACD there, of course. And of course, we're still posturing. The bulls are still in control on the weekly time frame. It's just the daily time frame. The bears have jumped in a little bit there, and we have seen that cross. We are seeing the RSI come down there as well for Bitcoin. And like I said, just because bearish divergence has played out doesn't mean that we can't see a little bit more downside, or that we can't range between 100 and 105K level there. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. We checked that chart out. We are seeing a little bit of a bear flag forming. And so if this plays out, that could lead us to further drop to the downside to the 200 EMA on the daily and the 200-day moving average. So that could be something that happens there if that bear flag plays out. And it just so happens that altcoins are in a bull flag, and they are above the 200-day moving average. This is the entire altcoin market here, total too. So if this plays out, so what we could see happen is a situation where altcoins jump up significantly when they break out of this bull flag. And this bull flag could go on for many more days here, even weeks, could make a huge bull flag here. And then also it could start forming on the weekly time frame. We've got the start of one here, but it could actually last for a few weeks. We also have the bull moon as well, which usually does lead to some price appreciation when you're in an uptrend over the 2-week period. And of course, the bear moon was just basically sideways and a little bit up. So that kind of, for the most part, bear moons in uptrends do just tend to go sideways there. So if we do see this bull flag play out there on total 2, and then that would make sense that the Bitcoin dominance bear flag breaks down, because if Bitcoin dominance go down, altcoin goes up. Now, what does happen to the price of Bitcoin? Well, generally, the price of Bitcoin would want to either stay in that 105K range or slowly move up. And of course, because Bitcoin is also in a bull flag here, the price of Bitcoin can go up with altcoins and Bitcoin dominance goes down. And you might ask, why would Bitcoin go up when Bitcoin dominance goes down? Because what it means is when Bitcoin price goes up and Bitcoin dominance goes down and altcoins are going up, that means just there's still money coming into Bitcoin and it's still pushing the price up. There's just more money going into altcoins than there is going into Bitcoin. And that's simply basically what that means. Now, we do have a little bit of an indecision candle here on the daily time frame. You can see that here. And then on the weekly, the current one that we're in is an indecision candle. That's where you see long wicks above. It also can be a liquidation candle, liquidating shorts and longs to the upside and the downside there. So we just want to be careful there. And I believe the reason why we are seeing a bit of indecision candle is because we have the CPI data coming out very soon. In fact, watching this video, it may have already come out. Now, if the CPI data comes in hot and higher, it could likely lead to some more downside back to that 100, maybe even back down to that 98K. And we would see this daily completely roll over and breach down below the 20% line there. However, if the CPI data comes in cooler or cold, comes in less than expected, I believe that would be bullish for the market, and we would see a continuation there of this bull flag pattern and push to the upside. Now, bull flag patterns don't always play out. They have about 2/3 of the time they generally will play out, and 1/3 of the time they don't. That's the same with bear flags as well, by the way. And so if it comes out kind of as expected, that could be interpreted bearish, because that could be, oh, we're kind of stagflation, we're kind of staying still, it's not moving down, but okay, it's not moving up. Or it could just lead to a continuation, okay, as you were. So that data comes out, and that's going to be absolutely pivotal, because if that inflation data comes out as lower, there will be more pressure on Fed Powell to lower interest rates. And we know lower interest rates leads to bigger pumps in the market and leads to money printing and quantitative easing. And that's what we are looking for there. And so that would be something that's very interesting when that comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time there. Okay, so let's keep our eyes on that and keep our eyes on the charts. And of course, yesterday we had a great day in the Tribal Trades Discord. There's already some wins there from Rod, Maddox, Izzy, Lanes crushing it, Nikola Tesla, as always, in the mix there as well. And then, of course, Brendan, BKM crushing some trades, Mix Gains in there as well. I love that name, Mix Games, Maddox there again. And I love Zacho getting in some nice trades there as well, and just stacking up the wins overnight. These are all overnight traders. They're stacking up the gains, and I do love Angel getting a nice win in there as well. And then I love Nikola Tesla, something about being in traffic, a quick SUI trade while being stuck in traffic there, made $27 just quickly while at a red light. It just shows you, you go to work and some people, I don't know what the hourly wage is where you live, maybe it's $11 or $15 or $20, just you're at a red light and you make $27. Absolutely fantastic. I love that mentality there. Absolutely brilliant. Great job, buddy. And I love your thinking, by the way. That's you can't make $1 million with a $1 mindset. And this guy has got $1 million mindset, and I think he's going to be a trading millionaire with that mindset there. It's just, you're just sitting at a red light and you're just thinking about making money. Absolutely fantastic. The trading signals, we had our first signals that kicked off trades at SUI at 411 there, and then and Solana at 179, and then we were able to get back in those trades shortly after. Shortly after there, we got out of those trades in the morning, and then in the afternoon, boom, we were able to get back into SUI at $3.83 after selling at $4.11, and then back in Solana at 168 after selling at 179. So the trading signals channel has already fired off a couple of absolutely fantastic signals, getting people out in profit or taking some profits and then getting back in lower. And as you can see on the charts today, look at Solana already back up at 174 after getting out at 179 and then getting back in around 168. So that worked out absolutely fantastic there with that. And then obviously the SUI trade, also fantastic. Taking profits at that $4.11. You can see crucial resistance there, and then getting everybody back in at $3.83, and it's already back to $3.98. So that trade absolutely crushed, as well as a few others. So that's the new trading signals channel in the Tribal Trades Discord. So for medium and long-term trades, all I do is give buy signals and sell signals. You're welcome to follow along with those. And for those people who've got 9-to-5 job or might be very busy with their trading, this new channel will be absolutely fantastic. Of course, we have our crypto plays and our stocks plays channel. These are for more the shorter to medium term plays, and they absolutely fired off some fantastic trades yesterday as well. And then, of course, we have the trading signals channel, which is more the medium to longer term trades. That way, we're looking after our short-term day traders, our medium-term traders, and our longer-term traders there with just those signals that will be going out. So if you'd like to join the Tribal Trades Discord, one Discord to rule them all, you can do so by clicking below the description. You might need to click the More button. That will pop out. The link is right at the top, and I share some of my trade setups there. Of course, as you can see, there's education resources. We have the Leverage Lounge if you wanted to learn how to trade leverage trading, make trades in traffic at red lights and make money as well. The Leverage Lounge, aka the Party Zone. and a bunch of other great educational resources as well. Live trading sessions with me on Tuesday and Thursday. So today we have one at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and again on Thursday. And then on Saturday, we'll have a live trading session as well for all those people who work 9 to 5. But we do record all the sessions, and I do a lot of teaching and education during those live trade sessions while we're waiting for the trades to trigger. So you can be paid. You can pay yourself while you're being educated in the live trading sessions. You can be making money in there as well. And of course, entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? And that's all we have time for today. But until the next episode, or until I see you on the Discord, happy trading.